This is Mrs. O'Neill for Chapter 11, Part 1, Section 7, the practice problems to those, hey, here are the words, make formulas, and then balance. So hopefully you didn't start it yet, but you will need that ion chart periodic table reference sheet again. And what I'm going to strongly suggest is write down all the formulas for all of the reactions first, because when you write down the formulas, I have this video, this PowerPoint presented in a way that I'm going to show you the formulas of all the reactions first. Then you can pause the video and then you can come back and balance and check your work. The reason for that is this. If for whatever reason your formula of, let's say, oxygen is incorrect, so instead of writing O2, you wrote down O, well, you know what? Your balancing is going to be a bear. It is going to be so difficult to balance, or the reactions are going to be so easy to balance that you forgot to put any subscripts at all. So we want to make sure that you know how to write the formulas of those substances before you even start looking at the balancing. So please, I strongly suggest writing the formulas, then looking through the video, making sure that your formulas are correct, and then going back and balancing, and then I'll show you the answers. So again, you want that chapter 9 information out as well, so that you can kind of connect the dots there. So here are your practice problems. So again, pause the video and write out the formulas for all of the substances. Okay, guys, so at this point, hopefully you paused. Some of these are elements, some of these are compounds, some are ionic compounds, some are molecular compounds, and some are those diatomic molecules. So what I'm going to suggest is pause, make sure that your formulas for each of those substances are correct. So that's 1 and 2. Here's your 3 and 4. And remember that acetate, you might have used that other formula, and that's fine, the other symbol for it, but I usually just write this one out. And 5 and 6. And again, here's those diatomic molecules, but zinc and lead are not part of those diatomic molecules, so they do not need the subscript of 2. Here's your 7 and 8. Hopefully you paused and checked those out. Again, because your numbers need to be exact. Your capitals, your littles, and your little subscripts have to be exact. Otherwise, it's not going to be very, very easy to balance. And 9 and 10. All right, so hopefully you got those right. And if you didn't get those right, hopefully you made your changes. So again, now you're going to pause the video, now balance them out, and then continue to play this video to check your answers for the balancing. All right, guys, so hopefully you checked your formulas, you did your balancing, and again, I'm going to show you 2 at a time. So pause and make sure now that your balancing is correct. And yeah, number 1, you didn't even have to balance. So that's why I kind of say to you, why don't you spot check them first? You know, spot check and go back and forth and see if you can do these without making the list. But maybe for number 2, no matter what, you might want it to make your list because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different elements to deal with. But you still might want to quickly spot check before you start. Number 3 and 4. Again, number 4 has lots of elements to deal with, so it would have been up to you if you wanted to make that list or not. 5 and 6, again, look at 5. 5 was already balanced. 7 and 8. Again, 7 kind of looks complicated, but if you made your list and you did it step by step like we've always been doing, it probably was a little bit easier to handle. And 9 and 10. And yep, for the last one, I even gave you a nice balanced one. Even though it looks a little confusing, if you spot check, it's nice and balanced. All right, guys, how about for a quickie quiz? All right, so number 1, pause and come up with an A, B, C, D answer. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And we're going on to number 2. Now again, what is meant by a skeleton equation means that is just the equation without it being balanced. And number 3, again, pause the video, make yourself that list if you need to, and see if you can come up with a coefficient that is in front of the H2SO4. And notice, guys, they already help you out here with some other coefficients. And you should have gotten a 3 there. All right, guys, we will see you in class.